Countess Vaughn, born August 8th, 1978, is an American actress, singer, and television personality. She is best known for her role as Kim Parker on the UPN sitcoms Moesha and its spin-offs The Parker, as Alexandra DeWitt on 227 as well. In the 90s, Vaughn guest starred on Thea, hanging with Mr. Cooper, and Rock. Outside of television, she performed in the off Broadway musical Mama, I Want to Sing Part 3. In 1992, Vaughn released her first album, Countess, featuring a variety of songs including dance music and R&B. In 2014, the actress and singer appeared on The Doctors to talk about the irreversible damage she incurred while wearing lace front wigs.
In about 2004, my hairstylist introduced me to front lace wigs, and I fell in love with them immediately. You have a full hairline. I was wearing it 24/7. 5 years later, the drama came in. The red flag was the oozing from my ears, from my forehead, the whole nape around my head. The pus. It had a horrible smell.
The former Moesha star admits that now she draws in her hairline after suffering from a severe scalp infection. This is courtesy of Hype Hair. This really intrigued me, and I found this article by Egypt Lawson of Hairline Illusions, and I believe that's in New York, and she had an article about the damage that can occur from wearing lace front wigs. She says that since heavy-duty adhesives are used when applying lace front wigs, it is not uncommon for hair loss to occur with repeated use of lace front wigs. Now, I know everybody doesn't get it glued on, but she is specifically talking about when people use adhesives. She goes on to say the combination of irritating adhesives and tension on the hairline can cause extensive damage, with receding hairlines occurring as an undesirable but common outcome. So, courtesy of privatelabelextensions.com, this was an actual wonderful article explaining in great detail the popularity of wigs going all the way back in history that you could imagine, where it was popular for men to wear wigs. Wigs resurfaced and became more popular than ever in the mid-2000s with popularity of the lace front wig. The lace front wig introduced a natural-looking alternative to the traditional wig and allowed women to stitch up hairstyles without looking unnatural. The first thing that came to my mind was Kelly Price in this video, because I didn't know what I was looking at, but I knew it looked like fabulous, but it was just like perfection. I was confused. You know how you're just like, where's the track at? You couldn't tell what that was. And so we started seeing it more and more recently where they've embraced it a lot. You know, you see Lizzo, we got Mary J, especially Miss Nene. But back in, the early 2000s, it was out then as well. So here's a video I found with Toni Braxton. I remember this look. So people were wearing it then, but it wasn't like people you saw every day wearing it. It was something you saw in music videos and famous people and rich people. That's what I remember. Like, I didn't start seeing people really start putting on lace fronts that where they became more affordable until maybe around 2010, where you started seeing it. And now it's like everybody got it. We're in 2023. Everybody has a lace front. It's so, readily available. You can buy it just about anywhere. Right here, I'm showing a search where I was just going through and watching, where I was just going through and seeing this is how easy it is to find a lace front. My final words, my advice, I'm a natural hair advocate. I already announced to my clients who majority of my clients are natural, but for the clients who were getting added hair services, I'm cutting all that out. And that has to do with religious reasons. I am Muslim, so we're not supposed to be adding hair. There's hadiths in regards to this about it bringing a curse upon you and that person. Even beyond that, I just feel like we're just at a position where you're made to feel ashamed of your hair. And there was a point in time, I know when I first started doing hair professionally in 2000, between like 2000 at least until I'm thinking maybe about '06, because I took a sabbatical. But I know during them periods, people was getting out of relaxing hair. It was like everybody was embracing their hair like a lot. You had a whole lot of locks, natural styles, twists, two-strand twists, like the flat twist, all that stuff. It was like really, really in. And I'm noticing that we're floating towards a society where you looking in your hair in the mirror and it's not good enough. And I'm like, why is it not good enough? It's nothing wrong with your hair the way Allah have it grown out of your scalp. And I believe it's a psychological thing. You got to tell yourself it's beautiful. That's why when clients sit in my chair and they'll say horrible things like, well, my hair is nappy, or the old hairdresser I went to said that it was horrible and it's nappy. I say, your hair is beautiful. There is nothing wrong with your hair. There is nothing wrong with having kinky hair. It's nothing wrong with that. There was a little girl client, and you could tell that it was through social media. I mean, Allah knows best why she felt this way, but I could just tell by the way she was always just obsessed with her phone that she stopped smiling when I would do her natural hair. She only would be happy or give a remnants of happiness if she had like some added hair. And I just kept saying, it's nothing wrong with your hair. So, being a hairdresser, it's a lot of psychological things that go in, well, that's involved when somebody sits in your chair. And you know what? I am not a therapist. I am not a therapist, and I have realized that. And I believe that might have been why I was holding on so long in regards to, oh, such and such got a bald spot, this or such and such has an area that they don't think is thick enough, or this other client may not like how the color of their hair looks in the sun, and so they want to add fake hair or make a hairstyle look thicker because they think it's going to be prettier. You know what, that is not my problem. My problem is being pleasing in the eyes of Allah. And I actually, before I decided to stop doing it, I already started like cutting back on it like last year. And then this year I was like, no, we put a definite end date on this. So end date is June 1st. But before that even happened, I started getting irritated. Like, if you go on my website, if you go on dawnmichellesalon.com, the FAQ page, a lot of them FAQs and all these policies I had to come up with was on the backs of people who had added hair. Now, granted, a lot of them was off them Groupon people, but a lot of it had to do with people with added hair, because I'm not trying to shade nobody. I'm just talking about my experience with people who come in and get their hair done. A lot of the times, the people who was giving me all that headache had insecurity issues. They didn't think their hair was good enough, and they is projecting it on me. I don't want to get too deep into that. I'm an advocate for natural hair. There is nothing wrong with your hair. And I know this was about Countess Vaughn, but she didn't like her hair, how it was growing out of her scalp, clearly. So I think it's time we start embracing our hair like we did in that period of time. The people who was actually coming in them shops in the early 2000s when all them lace fronts and all that stuff was out then, was a lot of people getting natural hair. That is why I'm telling you, I was working in a shop I remember I had switched to booth rent and I needed to pay my booth rent. And the majority of walk ins that were coming into the shop in Landover, Maryland were natural hair clients. And I was terrified of natural hair at that time. I was just terrified because I didn't know how to do it. We got so many different textures in the black community. We have so many different textures. It could be kinky curly, even if it was extremely kinky hair. Some might be extremely dry. Some might not be as dense as others. So you got to know which product to use when to make the hair look a certain way. So I had training. It was people in the salon that assisted me a lot in regards to that so that I could pay my booth rent. That was my main reason for getting good at working with natural hair. I had to pay my booth rent. And then I got to actually love natural hair. I think natural hair is beautiful. It's time that we embrace it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that in addition to these episodes on Sundays at 12 noon, I also have articles on my blog that are released every Sunday at 12 noon. So don't forget you can go straight to iamdawnwilliams.com to access the blog and other businesses you might want to see that I have. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And once again, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day on purpose.